Hey everyone, Maestro here. I am the football enthusiast. Hope you're all doing well. Alright, so in today's video, the topic for today's video is surrounding Manchester United. Now, this is actually a new series on my channel in which I'll be going through certain teams within Europe and give my opinions on the changes that they should be making within the transfer market for the following season. But also not just in the transfer market, but also changes within playstyle, positioning, and etc. And we're starting with Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in the world. So let's get started. Firstly, let's understand real quick how the last season finished. And it's just a quick refresher. These are the games for the entirety of last season, and their finishes were as such. In the Premiership, third place, 75 points, 9 points behind Arsenal, 4 points in front of Newcastle. Top 4 finish, they are back in the Champions League. That for me is a great success. And now in the cup competitions, they were in the Carabao Cup, they won it, FA Cup runners up, and Europa League semi-final. All of that along with the league title considered, a huge success for United in my personal opinion, especially with the fact that it was Ten Hag's first season. It's a new era, it's a new time, and I think they've done pretty well so far in their results. I think last season was a astounding success. Now, with that being said, what is a success for United in the next season? Let's establish that. Now, for me, in my personal opinion, the minimum requirement for a success for United is as such. Number 1, a top 4 finish, a staple top 4 finish. Now, this is the minimum. Number 2, a respectable run within the Champions League. Once again, that's the minimum. And number 3, once again, the minimum is development throughout the entire squad. Just essentially just looking better than what you were last season. Improvement throughout the goalies, the defense, the midfield, the attack, and even the coaching staff. Improvement throughout the entire club. So those for me are the 3 requirements, the minimum requirements for a successful season. Now, how will they do that? Now, they won't do that if they stay the same. You always need to improve. You always need to get better. You can't stay stagnant. You need to evolve because the opposition will continue to evolve. And if you don't, you will lag behind. Now, what are those improvements? What do I think they should change? Now, before I give that opinion, let's first look at the changes that they've already made, because they've already been somewhat busy. Now, big one, midfielder from Chelsea, Mason Mount. It says Chelsea here on Transfer Market, but it should say United. He is officially a Manchester United footballer for around £60 million, 55 million in 55 million in a fixed fee, 5 million in add-ons. He is a central midfielder from Chelsea. I'm sure you're aware of him. He is now officially a Manchester United player. Now, real quick, my opinion on this transfer. I like it. I really do. People, look, he's had a tough time at Chelsea these past 2-3 seasons. He's not, just in general, not been good. I'll keep it simple. He's been bad. Okay, but I do see something within him. I do see maybe a potential diamond in the rough. I see potential there to be a respectable player. Look, I don't think he'll be world class or anything like that, but I think he could be an asset in a team wanting to achieve great things. I do think he can get to that level, and sometimes you need a different environment, a fresh start to achieve that. Just because he wasn't that at Chelsea doesn't mean he can't be that in a different environment at United, and Ten Hag sees that within him clearly. So I personally see it too. I potentially see it. I'm just trying to say, if he is great, I wouldn't be surprised. If he's bad, I also wouldn't be surprised though. So I do like this signing, especially because considering what is already there at United, and what's there is number 8, Eriksen. Eriksen is essentially the guy that Mason Mount will be replacing, and I do think that's an upgrade. If this was prime Eriksen, then no, but this is current Eriksen. So I do think he's old, he's lagged, he's knackered, he's not mobile as he used to be. I think Mason Mount is an improvement. I think this is a somewhat good signing just from a football perspective. Now, they've made other business. Now, this is the only business that's confirmed, but other heavily linked rumors are the goalkeeper situation, which is a situation that they need to improve on. Because if you don't know, De Gea, as of right now, is a free agent. His contract has run out, so they need to bring in a replacement. Now, that replacement could not be a replacement. Could be De Gea. They could actually still sign him back, but I don't think it'll be like that. It seems this transfer right on front of your screen right now is imminent. Andre Onana, goalkeeper from Inter Milan. His strengths, look, he's a solid goalie. He's solid with his saves, but his appeal, as I'm sure you're all aware of, is on the ball. You know, in this different time, you need to be good with your feet as a goalie, and Onana is not just good; he's great with his feet as a goalie. And I think it's an improvement on De Gea, and needed as well. And I think this, whilst it's not official, it seems imminent. I think this, we can say it will happen, and I like it, and I think it will be a great addition. Now, other rumors include Rasmus Højlund. I don't have his name here, and I apologize for that. But yeah, Rasmus Højlund. I'll just say it real quick. He is a 20-year-old striker from Atlanta, a youngster, a prospect. There's not much to know about him though, because once again, he is young. He is a prospect. He's a good dribbler. He's good on the counter. He's fast. But that's about it that we know. But what we also do know is that he is wanted by Ten Hag. He is caught interest from Ten Hag. So with that being said, he could be a great addition. Now, let's say all three of those additions were to happen, the side looks like this, in my personal opinion. This is how they will play. Now, you could argue a 4-2-3-1 instead of a 4-3-3, but I think it's, with Rashford and Antony, it's much more of a 4-3-3. With Højlund, Rashford, Antony are the front three, Mount, Fernandes as central midfielders, being hybrid attacking midfielders, and Casemiro in the DM role, Martinez, Varane, the two centre backs, Shaw on the left, Bissaka on the right, Onana in goal. That is how they will look with those three additions. That seemingly Mount, Onana seem imminent, and Højlund is also heavily linked. Let's say they were to happen, this is how they'll look. Now, this is the part of the video where now I give my take on this. What I think they should be doing instead, or if I think they're doing a good job already. Now, real quick, with Onana, I think they're golden here. I think he's a fine goalie. He's an up-and-coming goalie, great on his feet, perfect for this new era of football, new era of goalies. He will, I think, thrive along with Martinez and Varane. I think this opens up a new dimension for United and initiating certain attacks. I think this is look, De Gea is a legend and will always be a legend, but time is undefeated. They need to move on, and they should. And moving on with Onana is fantastic. The defense, real quick, fantastic. I think they're all good. Bissaka, Varane, Martinez, Shaw, they have their weaknesses, but I think as a whole, a great defense. Casemiro has, I think, a few more years in him. I think he's a fine defensive midfielder. Fernandes has his critics but you see, Fernandez's critics are mainly because of who he is as a person. But as a player, he is great. He's fantastic. He works. Mount, I think, look, it is kind of a 50-50, but I think it could work. I think it will be minimum intermediate. I think he'll be an intermediate player, just a good player. I don't think he'll be bad. I think he'll be minimum good, but he has potential to achieve great levels. Will he? It's 50-50. We'll see. Now, we now go to Højlund. Here's my thing on Højlund. I think no matter who the striker is, you're gonna struggle, and I'll explain. I think Rashford and Antony are an issue. I really do. I think they're a problem for United, and let me explain. I know that Rashford in particular has had a great season, scored a lot of goals. But when it comes to Rashford and Antony, they are begging when it comes to the playmaking side of their game. It seemingly is non-existent. And that needs to change. You know, with Rashford and Antony, I think you're better off with like a Firmino or a Havertz or just a centre forward in that role as opposed to an out-and-out striker. But Højlund is not that. He is a striker, and it seems Ten Hag wants just a generic striker. So with that being said, here's the change number one that I would implement. It's actually not an arrival, it's a coaching style. Rashford and Antony need to evolve their games. Ten Hag, for me, needs to make that clear for them both. They need to work on their playmaking side of it. Because for me, right now, both of them are a shoot-first player. They get the ball, And the first thing they think about is, how can I get my shot off? They need to change that for me to how do I create something here? And if they don't, I think no matter who your striker is, you're gonna struggle. So that for me is my first change within the squad. These two need to evolve. Now other changes mainly involve the bench. You cannot once again defer to McTominay if Casemiro is out. McTominay is such a huge downgrade. It causes issues. They are linked with Romeo Lavia from Southampton. If that's so, go for him. Go get a defensive midfielder replacement for Casemiro, because McTominay is Man United's Rob Holding. I'm an Arsenal fan. When Saliba and Gabriel are out, we have to play Holding, and that is disastrous for us. And seemingly we're going to fix that because Jurrien Timber's coming in. United must follow suit. Bring in a defensive midfielder replacement for Casemiro. And they do that, they're golden. Now what else can they do? Sell Maguire. I think Maguire is somewhat of a bad effect on the squad. He comes out on the media talking about how great he is and how useful he is, but you're lying to yourselves. I think find a solution for Maguire. Sell him. Get 10, 20, whatever million for him, and bring in a young up-and-coming prospect with a much better outlook on the team. Because I think Maguire's mentality and his feeling on the side is just, it's kind of like a green goblin on your back. Just get it off, get it out. Bring in someone new. Even if they're not as good, if they're young, you can put your stamp on that player. Ten Hag can form his own defensive midfielder in a youngster and evolve him to be better than Maguire, because Martinez and Varane are injured. I like Lindelof. I don't like Maguire, not at all. So I think that is another improvement. Now, another one, Højlund. It's tough, isn't it? Because in my personal opinion, if you want to get top 4 or if you want to win the league, Højlund, I worry for him as your striker because he's 50-50. But let's just say Højlund was bad. He wasn't good. Who do they go for? Well, Osimhen is too much. Osimhen costs too much, way too much, and they can't get him. So that's unrealistic. So that's out the window. Who else? They can't bring back Weghorst. He was an absolute disaster. That won't work. Who else? Harry Kane, maybe? Look, Osimhen is apparently going to be around 150 million. That's what I'm hearing, by the way. Harry Kane will probably cost you around 80 to 100. But here's the thing with Harry Kane and Osimhen. Harry Kane is already a Premier League legend. Already known. And if you add Kane to this side and you have Rashford and Antony evolving into the playmakers that I suggested before, I mean, look, I still think City will be the favourites, and I love what Arsenal are doing. I love what Liverpool are doing too, and I suspect Chelsea will be making big moves as well. I think this side becomes an extremely formidable side with Harry Kane, and I do think it's somewhat realistic. But I mean, I say it's realistic, but at the same time, it's not, is it? I mean, because here's the thing with United, they're currently going through ownership issues because Qatar might come in, Sir Jim Ratcliffe might come in, and the Glazers might just stay. Either way, I think these changes that I suggested should be the ones they make. Now, in terms of Kane, I think they should go for Kane. They should go all in. In fact, look, if going for Kane means you have to stick with McTominay, I'd do it. I really would. But also that's all. Now Kane coming in is great if Rashford and Antony evolve into the playmakers that they think they should become. More so than like being goal-scoring wingers is great. It's fine, but they need to also evolve their game into also having that playmaking aspect to it. So those are my thoughts on what United should do to be better. They do those things, I think they're looking really, really good for the new season. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please leave a like. If you want to see more, please subscribe for more. Have a great day. Please comment down below what you guys think about my changes. And just to summarize, my changes are: I like Onana. Mount I think could work. A replacement for Casemiro is needed. A replacement for Maguire is needed. Rashford, Antony both need to evolve their playmaking sides to their game. Højlund is fine, but I'm willing, if I was United board, willing to break the bank for Harry Kane. Those are my additions. Those are my changes. Do you agree? Do you not? If not, let me know down below what you would do. Have a great day. And as always, take care of yourselves.